But yeah, there was a lot of like other smoke around the football program this week, Brad, other than obviously the huge weekend. Um, the this wasn't just Indiana related, but you can make your school money by playing college football 26, which is insane. So I'll definitely be
Yeah.
putting in some time for the Hoosiers. That's for sure.
Is this like does it have to be online games? Can I just like,
I'm
play
honestly not
now?
even sure.
Like how does this work? Like how many dynasties are being made? 'Cause I can just make like 10 gajillion dynasty files and just like not even touch them in
No, I
theory.
think you have to play the games.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Understood. All right. Cool.
Uh, we got it, actually do want to I want to shout out Lawrence North's wide receiver coach, Coach Jermaine Wilson. He put up a picture with Davion Chandler and Omar Cooper today. We talked about the Lawrence North connection a lot. The wide receiver coach who's helping to develop all of these guys. So shout out to Coach Wilson. But Omar Cooper in that picture looked like a damn superhero. Like you could tell that kid's been in the weight room all winter working out because like not that he had like a size problem or like a conditioning problem or anything, but like yeah, Omar Cooper's been in the gym. Like it's evident that kid's been putting in work. Like
I
holy
mean,
cow, he looked massive.
we talked about him in the spring where he was really focused on his speed and his explosiveness specifically. Like that were the two things that he needed to take to the next level in his game, right? That's just the separation piece of his game. Because as good as he is at catching the 50-50 balls, the contested catches, he's super strong, can take a hit and still hold on to it. Plays taller than his actual height, which is 6'2". He plays like a 6'4". It's the separation. That's the one thing in his game where you can almost where it's like borderline neutral, like could lean like an actual weakness. I think he's a pretty solid all around player, but when it comes to his speed and I mean yards after the catch, would love to see more of that from Omar and Elijah Surratt next year because I don't. EJ Williams isn't much of a yak guy. Tyler Morris was kind of supposed to be our big yak guy. So now it kind of falls onto guys like Davion Chandler to be big yak guys. Because remember, we relied heavily on Key Williams and Miles Price getting yards after the catch. That was a big part of our offense. And
Don't sleep
obviously
on
Mekhi Jackson isn't back yet, and that's like kind of his thing. So to have him back in the fold will be huge. But yeah, to get that from Omar, who's going to be with the ones, is ginormous. It's huge.
I wouldn't sleep on Omar's yak ability either. Going through Indiana highlights, trying to pick out different clips to highlight, and I still haven't picked out the one that I'm going to post tomorrow for the edit. So when I figure that out, obviously I'll figure that one out. But Omar Cooper was catching long touchdowns in a bunch of different ways. It wasn't just like deep ball back shoulder. It was like deep crosser over the middle, find the middle of the zone, run away from a bunch of guys. Like he scored from 35-40 a couple times.
Yeah. I feel like most of his big plays were like contested 30-yard bombs, contested catch. Like that is like at its core what Omar Cooper does. Like he's a
Oh,
basketball player.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. He's throw the ball up. Let him go get it.
That's what he does.
Yep. Yep. Um, Back to Buffton Prime, I guess. Funny enough, D'Angelo Ponce is getting major love as a tackler. That's something that like doesn't get talked about enough in his game because we talk about him as a cover guy, him taking away half the field. But when you talk about this Bryant Haynes defense, you need your corners to tackle. And when running backs and like people get on the outside to D'Angelo Ponce's side, he makes the tackle. Like he is an unbelievable tackler, very underrated, doesn't get enough credit for it. And that's part of what makes him such a great player. He's a complete player, but hell of a tackler, D'Angelo Ponce.
Best cornerback in the country. I know there's a lot of hype around that corner up north in South Bend being the best corner in the country. I'm taking Pons all day. All day.
All day, every day.
All day, every day, twice on Sunday. Actually, no, twice on Saturday, actually. It's better just, because they get it because they play on Saturday.
I get it. I want to shout out Blake Teary. Took home 3 gold medals and a silver medal in track. The dude just keeps raking it in.
Former Freak of the Week. I guess he'll just get another one this week. Here we go.
I think only Freak of the Week.
Called the Blake Teary Freak of the Week award, honestly, moving forward.
I like it. We'll keep it. We'll set it for week 1. The Blake Thierry Freak of the Week award. My notes are all over the place this week. And then obviously we got the Indiana football video edited by Trevor Bowens, which was awesome. But we got Signetti just screaming at the boys, motivating the boys about how nobody believes in them and that people are doubting them again. And it fired me up, Brad. I don't know if you had a chance to see it.
I think I did see that clip a little bit. Yeah, because it wasn't him speaking; it was his words over a montage of highlights. If I'm not mistaken,
you are correct.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was alluding to earlier. Like every play seems super high level because they were showing, spring and kind of the summer workouts as well. I mean, we're just trusting the process here. Sig's gonna do his thing. He's a way of motivating. That is, he knows how to get his team. One thing that we don't talk about enough, and we should. We've brought it up before, but I just don't think we talk about it enough. Is that there wasn't really any drop off game after game. I think every week IU showed up. I think the story is that we play Ohio State and we play Notre Dame. As much as we hate to say it, there's a talent gap. There just is. And I think we played to what we can that year. And 11-2, we play up to our potential. There's tons of teams out there. We see all the hype with USC. I'm going to use them as an example here. This isn't the first time they've had the number 1 recruiting class and they're killing it. This is a team that when Sark was there, it's the same deal. Bringing in all we're locking in SoCal. We're bringing in all the best modern day St. John Bosco players. Fired. Same thing with Lane Kiffin before him. Bringing in all the best, locking in Southern California. Fired. Ever since Pete Carroll left, it's been the same old story. Haven't been able to maximize their potential. So great, awesome. I hope Indiana can get to a point to where they're at USC's level recruiting wise, at least at the high school level. It doesn't matter until you get between those hashes. Does not matter. Nothing matters until you put fingers in the dirt. Doesn't matter. So, I'm fired up. Can't wait for the season. I need to order my Phil Steele book. That actually just reminded me.
Yes, you do.
I do.
I want to shout out Coach Buddha Williams. He was teaching D-line drills for the Glazer clinics. You can go check those videos out. He posted it on his own Twitter. The Glazer clinics also posted it on their Twitter. And to wrap up Indiana football, they extended an offer to Brady Quinn, quarterback in the class of 2028. I say that only because, and it's funny, it was noted, his name is Brady Quinn, named after Brady Quinn, but no relation.
Crazy. I mean, I kind of want him to go to Notre Dame, but I'm glad we offered him. I think it'd be awesome if he went there. But yeah,
he's visiting Notre Dame too. Don't worry.
Yeah, he seems like a pretty high level recruit. So awesome that we were able, that we gave him an offer and put our, hat in the ring. Yeah, a cool name, super nostalgic. Brady Quinn was kind of fun. It's first, quarterbacks that, I remember watching growing up. So yeah, pretty cool to have it come full circle. I wish it was his son. I wish it was Brady Quinn Jr. That'd be
that's what I thought.
That would make me feel really old. That's why I was
pumped. That's why I sent it to you and Jamie. I was like, holy shit, look at this. And then I was like, it's not Brady Quinn. Yeah. He just named after
I actually knew all that because I remember seeing him on my feed a while ago, and I had to check into that. So I knew when you sent that, I'm like, I hope he doesn't think that's Brady Quinn's kid. I hope not.
Chat questions before we hop over to a little bit of basketball talk. SoCal Hot Sauce says, how much of an improvement do you expect expect Fernando Mendoza to be over Curtis Rourke in terms of mobility, playmaking, and overall offensive impact for 2025? Brad,
I think at his floor, he's at Curtis Rourke level, in my opinion. It's that mobility and his ability to decipher defenses already so early in his career. He's been able to do this. I mean, he's only getting better. He's so much younger. I think he's 3 years younger than Curtis Rourke was last year going into this year. something like that, 2 or 3 years. So I'd say he has more tools than Rourke, maybe not as much experience, but he's a really, really smart kid. He talked about in his interview how if he did end up committing to Yale, he probably would have just dropped football and gone to investment banking, which is, for really smart people. So, yeah, I believe in the kid. He's super gritty. He has all the intangibles on top of all the tools. 6'5", cannon arm, mobility, athleticism, loves the game, grinds tape,
work ethic,
has everything. So yes, I will be placing a bet on Mendoza winning the Heisman because I've tweeted it out before. It will be happening. I believe it's plus 6,500, right?
I think it was plus 5,000.
Plus 5,000, even better.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's not better, but
But yeah, I completely agree. I think at his floor, you're going to see essentially like it's funny to say that as like Rourke was 9th in the Heisman and he was phenomenal, but it's like that's the type of player from the pocket Fernando Mendoza can be. And then you look at what the biggest issue with Rourke was his inability to move when there was pressure up the middle. That's in theory not going to be an issue for Mendoza. So it raises the ceiling of this football team exponentially. Then it just comes down to decision making. When Mendoza's out of the pocket, and like he's shown he's going to be a good decision maker. So yeah, I'm about as excited as I can be. I'm going to go back and clip the first time Brad called him Andrew Luck. So Brad has that. And then you can flaunt
that was
that
in February.
That
was before all these articles. I saw another mock draft had him going 14 overall.
I mean, listen, it's not like I keep saying this until I'm blue in the face, but it's like people look at the Indiana fans like we're just like trying to sell them rotten fruit. It's like, do you look at the players that are on this team, the people who are coming back? And it's like, that's why we're so excited. It's like people who, Indiana's bad history and this guy, and it's like, you can pick a nitpick from any school in the country, but it's like, I don't know. We know what we're looking at. That's what I'll say. John says ranked 27th today in terms of recruiting, highest ranked in Indiana history. I saw them as high as 24th. When I checked later in the day, it was 25th. I'm not sure what they're at now. If it's 27th now, but
live on 24/7 right now.
Is it updated on On3 yet? They weren't even at 13 commits on On3 today.
Oh, Abel got Mendoza plus 10,000. Gee,
you Abel. Let's go, Abel.
Which book, Abel? Which book?
Mendoza. John says Mendoza has 2 legs that makes him more mobile.
It's not.
That is a fact.
I mean, even if Rourke had 2 legs, he's more mobile than Rourke ever was, even at Ohio. People have been telling me to watch his Ohio tape. I know Mendoza. And when I say he's Andrew Luck, I'm not like kidding. Tool wise, he's got it. He looks the part. The throwing motion too. It's tight. It's quick. It's accurate.
You go back to his NBC interview and he's talking about attacking his 5 to 10 reps at Cal like he was Tom Brady preparing for the Super Bowl. And it's like, that's again, like we talked about Signetti at points last year, and I can't remember which Sigs Inside episode it was on, but he's like a movie character where it's just he like somehow always says the right thing, and it's like it's not that Fernando Mendoza is going out of his way to be like, this is my origin story, but just by answering questions, it's like green flag, green flag, green flag. It's like I'm excited.
I'll tell you what, as a kid, I never thought about selling mangoes door to door. Never thought about it. We had a lemon tree, avocado tree in my backyard. never even crossed my mind to go sell that stuff door to door. I sold candy. His mind as opposed to me, and that's why I do podcasts and work a corporate job, and he is probably going to go first round in the NFL. It's just different, wired different,
I used to sell candy on the beach, Brad, and the owner of the beach club came up to us and stopped our operation because we were outselling the snack bar.
That's baller.